Hey, this is Kristen Cheetah with the Mom Minute for this week. Hey moms, we are now in our house entering week 3 of the kind of stay-at-home order from our governor. And you might be feeling like you're going stir crazy, like so many are. But I've been really trying to ponder this as an opportunity. And so my husband and I are doing things together that we normally wouldn't do. For example, I'm teaching from home. There's no more school where I'm going to the classroom, so I'm having the opportunity to work at home. And my husband, his traveling has been canceled, so he as well is working at home. And so we've just kind of made our day. I work up on the first floor and he's working in the basement in our family room down there, just kind of setting our day together. And as the day comes to an end for work, we're wanting to be really intentional because we understand this isn't going to be forever, even though it feels like it day by day. But it also is a prime time to do things together, to spend time together, to talk, like so many things that when we're doing projects around the house that we would say, oh, if only we had time. And moms, I know that this is a season. If you have kids who are in school, they're now home. So you get to homeschool along with partnering with the teachers. And your kids are home. There's no restaurants to go to. There's no movie theaters to go to. There's no sporting events. All of our activities have been canceled. And in this time and season, which is we will look back and everyone's going to remember this. I really want to challenge you to use this time and to be really, really intentional. And I think the first couple weeks, it's kind of like a storm came in and we're trying to figure out our bearings and everything is changing and we're reordering everything in our home. But now that we've kind of gotten into a little routine and we don't really know for how long it's going to be, I want to challenge you to take this time and this season and make it something really special for your family. Throughout the book of Psalms, there are moments when after a couple verses, there will be a word that says Selah, S-E-L-A-H. And I really believe when we kind of entered into this and after my heart and my head and everything just kind of like, what is happening? I really asked the Lord, I just really want to use this time as a Selah. And that Selah in scripture, when we see a Selah, it means to pause, to reflect, not to move on too fast, just to kind of hang out there and tarry. And we have an opportunity now, moms, to be able to Selah with our families. I've been praying that God would just really reorder our families, that we would have a reprioritization, a refocus on building altars in our home and taking time for the things that really, really matter. We can be so busy running around. So often I'm looking back at a lot of the blog posts and the articles and the podcasts that I've done. And so much of it is we are living such busy lives and we live such full lives. And there's so many things to find a rhythm and a balance and a management of so many different areas of our life. And right now it's like we've got this moment of time. Ephesians, talks about this kairos moment. We don't want to miss it. So in this time of Selah, what is it that you can do? How can you cultivate something with your kids to remember this time? We think about the Israelites, and throughout the Old Testament, God was always saying to them, remember, remember, remember. And so we have an opportunity that we want to remember this time well. What is like a monument stone that you can build with your family? I have a couple of my kids from my classroom, my third graders, that their families in this season of just being home, they've decided we are going to plant a garden. So it's like they have taken this time together. They're getting out the weeds, they're, tilling the soil, they're planting seeds and small little plants. What an opportunity. And they will have gardens now. These couple kids that I have in my class, they'll have gardens for years to come and they'll be able to look back and say, remember when we had that time to be able to plant, to be able to really nurture a garden. So what is it that your family can do? What can you do to just remember this season? Is there something that you can think about to be creative with your kids, whether they're young or whether they're older, to really memorialize this time so that we can even remember and look back and reflect? The other thing that I want to do is I want to give you just a few questions to reflect in your day as the days go by. At the end of the day, like start in the morning thinking about a question, and then throughout the day reflect on it, and at the end of the night, just kind of take a pause, that Selah, and reflect back on the day. So I just have a couple questions here I'm going to pose to you. One of them is, what am I most proud of? So as the day starts, to think about, okay, I'm going to look for something today that I'm really proud of. And if you have kids at home and you're teaching them now, you've become their teacher, then maybe it is by the end of the day, you're like, okay, they got most of their homework done. Or I didn't scream at my child. Like, what can you be proud of as these days go on? So that could be one question. Another one is, what am I most grateful for today? I am so thankful in this season that Greg and I have this time together, and I know we are living the empty nest life, so it's quite fabulous. But we worked really hard to get to this point. So what is it something at the end of your day that you can look back and just be really grateful for? Just a couple more. What situation in your day did you handle really well? And taking a look at, what could I have responded better to? So just really taking time to reflect. And this is that Selah, the pause, that kind of that kairos, something, there's this time that's pregnant with something. And I'm going to just end with this last one. I'll do two more. What advice would I give myself today about how I handled something, or just advice about living in this moment? And the last one would be, what are top 1 to 3 highlights of my day? I do a journal where I write something I'm thankful for every day. That could be something that if you haven't done that before, you could get started. You could teach your kids, because there's something about having a grateful heart. Thanksgiving, gratefulness, it's like we enter God's courts with thanksgiving and praise. So I just really want to encourage you in this season that we are given. We don't know how much time it's going to be. Obviously, we want to be praying. We want to be praying for people affected. We want to be really stoking a fire of just staying in that place of intimacy with God in our own hearts, teaching our kids. What an opportunity we have to teach our kids how to be close to God, how to be near to Him, how to trust Him. So don't let these days just go by, and I don't know, I think when they're over, I think we're going to miss them. I'm just going to say, I think we're going to miss the allotted time that we've been given. So take these days of Selah and use them. Ask God, what is it that you could do as a memorial stone for your family? And throughout the days, just make those breath prayers to the Lord as things are challenging and hard, and you're only going to 4 different rooms in your house or walking around your neighborhood or your sidewalks around your house. Just ask God, help me through this. Help me see the beauty in what you are allowing me to see. And what's your perspective from heaven? So that is the Mom Minute for this week. May you all be blessed. And I just pray the favor of the Lord upon you. I pray His face shine upon you. I pray that this is a season that you get to recalibrate your family, and that you as families would build altars in your home to just worship God, to come back to that place of priority of, God, you are great and you are good and you are better than we think, and He is faithful to you. So be blessed this week.